A couple of weeks ago, as you would know, Your Excellencies, we did jointly co-author an op-ed that was very well received across the country. And for me, that just begins the journey of us holding hands and working together. And when I see this roundtable today, where we have the private sector, we have the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, we have our Excellency ambassadors here, we are here as government, and the many practitioners in the sustainable waste management space, I can only say, what a loop. And I'm really hoping that this is not going to be a hit and run, this being the first loop forum, that we will turn it into a more frequent engagement where we can even measure our steps towards a complete circularity within our country. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Kenya Kwanza administration, our key focus under the plan is focused on the people, the planet, and profits. Security is at the core of it. An expanded tax base, livelihood support for those people at the lowest level of the pyramid. And this we want to implement through a value chain approach where we deliver as one, not just as government, but all the players, all the stakeholders. So for me, almost sleepwalking into this function was really a must, because it's the first forum of its kind, and I really do value the partnership that we're exhibiting as we take Kenya into circularity. The opportunities that lie with waste are many, they are countless. We are talking about waste to wealth, waste to energy, waste to food, like has been said here, waste to fertilizer, and in the end, food security. So this is something that we must all do. Circular economy, therefore, ought to concern itself with reducing waste by ensuring we create further value each time a product looks like it is at the end of its productive life cycle. The challenge is about changing our mindset, how we think, how we behave, and how we consume. The idea is to see if the goods of today could become resources for tomorrow. And the need to, tag along Kenyans through sensitization, awareness creation, cannot be overemphasized. Like my sister Carol said, as government, we are keen to make sure that we leave no one behind. As we talk about segregating waste at source, it really sounds insurmountable, but we will get there. And we have to get there because that's the right thing to do. So education becomes very central for us as a ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, since this exhibition has brought together many manufacturers, I would like to state that Kenya's industries have been engaging in linear production for far too long. I would like to emphasize that a circular economy is not about one manufacturer changing one product. It is about all of the interconnected companies that form our infrastructure and economy coming together. And that is why this exhibition is of extreme importance, hoping it is a first step towards circularity. I would therefore like to encourage as many industry as are present here to agree for us to work together and for them to design products that could be disassembled systematically once the consumer has finished using them, remanufacture them, and return to a state of usefulness. This not only contributes to the circular economy, which then focuses on cradle to cradle rather than cradle to grave, but the production cost goes down drastically as we seek to maximize our economies of scale. For us as government, we will provide both the legislative and policy framework that you will require. For me as Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, I have set my agenda very clearly on 3 areas. The first is ecosystem restoration. 2 is advocacy for an implementation of a circular economy for Kenya, and the area of climate change. And my ministry is open to anyone who wants to do an industrial system that is restorative and regenerative by intention and design. In terms of the regulations, which have been spoken to here, I just wish to highlight a few of the engagements we are having towards full implementation of the Sustainable Waste Management Act of 2022. Over the next few weeks, we are working with Parliament to pass the extended producer responsibility regulations, and it is of high importance for the ministry. Parliament just having resumed from their long recess, this is going to be actualized in the next few weeks, and maybe 2 months if it goes for too long. We are also working with Parliament to revise the waste regulations of 2006 to include more waste forms that include biomedical waste, amongst others. We have already, we are engaging with the Council of Governors, and before the Council of Governors, we are having discussions that are going towards the need to incentivize the circular economy sector. And we shall extend these engagements and sensitization. NEMA needs no sensitization as I sit here. We will have to sensitize KEBS, sensitize KRA, and other regulatory entities to make sure that we are all moving in the right step, on the same direction. We have already engaged with county governments, and the engagement is continuing. We are developing an intergovernmental framework for coordination and engagement between my ministry and the Council of Governors. And some of the discussions we are engaging in is the need to mainstream the area of taxes and levies to support waste collectors and avoid double taxation. And that goes to the incentivization of the sustainable waste management actors. The ministry has also prioritized a circular economy strategy that will inform how we make industry restorative and regenerative. The Kenya Circular Economy Strategy should be complete in the next few months, and we are also working to operationalize the Waste Management Council, which is the apex body to actualize circular economy. We are working with Parliament once more on plastic regulations to streamline and strengthen the ban on the single-use plastic. Kenya still stands as the boldest of countries to actually actualize the ban on single-use plastics. But I want to assure you, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that I am keen to push the envelope further, because a ban on single-use plastics is just a tip of the iceberg. A lot still needs to be done. And I'm really focusing and pushing NEMA here to make sure that as we go into planting 15 billion trees, that we will not be producing 15 billion plastic tubings for the seedlings. So that is where we have to start, by by moving to biodegradable tubings for the tree seedlings of the 15 billion trees that we intend to plant. Ladies and gentlemen, the other area that we are keen on, and the partnership becomes very, very important, is the need to have our young people, especially our hustlers, at the core of the sustainable waste management practice across the country. The county governments are very keen and very interested in setting up of material recovery facilities, decomposting facilities, and we cannot do that without the private sector. We cannot do that without our manufacturers, and I'm extremely happy because I know Kenya Association of Manufacturers, KEPSA, have been part of the reform process around sustainable waste management. And so we are pulling together in the right direction. So I'm really looking forward to seeing us moving and even decentralizing the material recovery facilities and recyclers going down to the counties, because then we will actualize the creation of jobs and supporting our hustler waste collectors, those young men and women who carry waste on their backs with sacks. If we actualize what we are saying here, then we will be turning their fortunes, and they will be contributing to the greater good of Kenya, of building our economy. I would like us to remember that everything is healthy food for something else. We constantly use resources for nature. The circular economy is inevitable, and it is not about a problem to be fixed, but redesigning the entire system that could fight climate change while fighting pollution and waste. And these are the things that my ministry is all about. And at this juncture is to again call on all of us to join hands to support the government's program of greening our country. We need the support of everybody. We are clustering our ecosystems into adoptable blocks. I invite all of you, individually, in corporates, to come forward, adopt an ecosystem, and be part of turning our country green, because that is the way to go. And in the few weeks that are coming, I will be doing intensive engagement with different stakeholders, starting with the circular economy sector players who are here today. I will be calling for a roundtable. I will extend that to the private sector. I will extend that to our development partners, and set the stage for a massive campaign to prepare Kenyans to each one of us take their place to plant their bit of the 15 billion trees. And I always like to tell people, 15 billion sounds so mind-boggling. But I just came from Ethiopia, and their greening legacy initiative, they targeted to do 20 billion trees in 4 years, and they have actually surpassed the target. They have done 24 billion in 4 years. And for us, we are talking about 10 years, 15 billion. So it's really doable. I was more energized and inspired to know that this is actually possible. And 30 billion only translates to 300 trees per Kenyan in 10 years. Only 300 in 10 years. And in 1 month, only 30 trees. So you can share your little water with your 30 trees, and you're done for the year, and then you do another and another number. And we're asking Kenyans to focus around their birthdays. Plant your age. You can set aside the birthday cake for now, because we need to save our environment. If every one of you is following on the forest fires that are ravaging our forests, just adding salt to the injury of the drought that we are in the midst of, I really want to urge all of us to take our space to help the government make this a reality. And I would also wish to, at this point, extend an invitation to all of us. We just got an approval yesterday from the Africa Union Summit to host the first ever Africa Climate Summit right here in Nairobi. And the summit is to be hosted by His Excellency the President in his position as the chairman of the Committee of Heads of State and Government on Climate Change, really to rally the region about coming boldly to take the continent toward a climate resilient and decarbonized future, because that's what we need to do. So the summit will be happening between the 4th and 6th of September, and I know everyone here is on board. Thank you very much. I would like to conclude by congratulating the various exhibitors. Thank you very much for setting the pace. I know there could be many industries out there who did not get a chance to exhibit today. Our role as a ministry is to encourage you to keep doing the good work. We would like to assure you that you've got our absolute support. Allow me once again to thank you for inviting me to be part of this great Loop Forum, and wish you very fruitful engagements. And again, this must not be a hit and run. This is a thing we need to do every so often. I thank you.